Oakland braced for protests just ahead of the Derek Chauvin murder trial verdict. Instead, many people gathered to celebrate the guilty verdicts while calling for change in policing strategies nationwide. I'm happy to welcome back to the 9 OPD Chief Leronne Armstrong. Thanks for being with us, Chief Armstrong.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Of course. Your department released a reaction statement not long after the verdict yesterday. I'd like to get your personal thoughts on the verdict and what it means to you.
Well, for me, it was a significant moment, right? I can't not be more clear that this is a time for real change, for real meaningful change, for accountability, for justice, for reform. I think it's long overdue. And so for me, it really hinges on the fact that people shouldn't have to stand by with their fingers crossed, hoping that justice takes place. We should all feel like what we seen on that video was a crime, and someone should be held accountable for that. And I think yesterday was the start of that. But also for the city of Oakland, we will do our part to bring reform to the Oakland Police Department that our community has longed for a very long time.
You've talked about your upbringing in West Oakland, how your mom had a drill for as soon as you hear gunshots, hit the floor and stay there. You suffered mistreatment at the hands of Oakland police officers when you were a young child at your grandmother's home. Did yesterday's verdict bring back any of those memories, and did it all act as something of a balm over what's happened to you and other black men in Oakland for the past decades, or does it really do nothing to help those past injustices?
Well, I think it started the healing, right? I think that many years people have suffered and people have experienced injustice. And I think yesterday was just the beginning of the healing over a wound that's been open for very long. I think we all want to believe that things are getting better, but I think yesterday gave us all some hope. It gave us hope that we can believe in the justice system. It gave us hope that we can believe that police officers can be held accountable. It also gave us hope that we as community and law enforcement can come together and agree that change and reform is important, and we need to rethink how law enforcement does its job and the things that we do in our community. I think those conversations are important, but I think the healing process started yesterday.
Let's talk about some of the big things, then the small things. First, the Oakland Police Commission banned the use of neck holds less than a year ago. Now that you're chief of OPD, what are some reforms and changes you, as chief, are looking to implement?
Well, I just want to make sure that we follow policy, right? When you've been under the negotiated settlement agreement for 18 years, you want to ensure that your department is practicing constitutional policing. And so it starts with me when it comes to accountability, holding officers accountable to following our policies, making sure that their actions are consistent with our values as a department and as a community. One of the things I've done to start that was create a bureau called the Bureau of Risk Management. And this bureau is really designed to oversee all of our risk-related activity, doing more auditing, more assessing of officers' actions. One of the things I want to ensure is that we are consistently activating our body-worn cameras, making sure that when incidents do occur, it's captured so that we can make decisions that are consistent with what happened. And so that is in the early stages, but we are seeking full compliance with our negotiated settlement agreement by ensuring that all of the tasks that we are responsible for are done and done correctly.
This sounds like a lot of policy, which I understand goes hand in hand with being the police chief of a large police department. Yesterday, my family and I at the dinner table talked about the verdict and the trial overall for more than an hour. Are you taking that personal approach, reaching out to your fellow officers and talking about them, talking about what happened in a personal way that might help change some minds and actions?
Yeah, and it didn't start yesterday. It's been something that I've been doing since I took over as chief, is going into briefings and lineups and meeting with officers and having the discussion about being better, about changing the culture of our organization, about building trust, strengthening relationships, allowing people to come in, being open to community's input. That's why our police commission is so valuable, accepting community members' input into policy development, understanding community accountability. These are the things that I think make us as a department better. And this is the messaging that officers we've been speaking with them about, but also challenging officers to go out and be more present. More present in community, participated in more community-led projects, trying to humanize those in which we serve.
Right. So many black and brown children grow up in Oakland being told to fear the police, and certainly that's a change that it sounds like you are hoping to change very soon. That's a sentiment you're hoping to change soon. All right, Chief Armstrong, I appreciate your time. Thank you again for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.